Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish.
This is
The Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish. This is the Petri dish. There's something growing in here, and the thing that's growing is the number of days on the calendar. Mother's Day happened, so I completely forgot to do anything this weekend resembling a podcast. So we're squeezing this one in right under the wire, just for everyone.
Squeezing it in.
Desperately looking for more content, specifically from us too.
Yeah,
people on TikTok have been really responding to you not liking water and liking Gatorade, Jonathan. There's been a few people that are like, hell yeah, I agree with them. So, the icon is growing.
Okay. That's funny.
Other people were like, you should really get your friend to drink water. I was like, I understand. I'm trying.
That's awesome, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's just a little...
Half the people are like, yeah, fuck water. And then the other half are like, you really need to drink water. Yeah.
So that's, let's see. That was the last week on the internet. I guess I'm trying to think of things that have been happening digitally. Let's see. Oh, I got in a fight with some guy on Reddit. It wasn't a fight. He said some shitty things, and I just said some shit back, and there's been no back and forth. But this comedian I really like and respect, named Elena Bamfield, who I think is in New York now, but was from the Midwest somewhere. I'm forgetting where. But her whole story is she was one of the gymnasts who was molested by Larry Nassar, the guy who was like an Olympic level doctor so she's one of the like sisters of so she's like a comedian who all that shit happened to, and she's fucking amazing, right? I had to go up after her at Savage Henry, and I was like, I should not be going next, she should have been last. It was but like great comedian. And then I commented that I was like, I got up after her on a fest, she murdered the room, it was fucking wild. And then some douchebag in the comments is like, is there some code where comedians always have to pump up other mid-tier comedians and like just talking shit? And I was like, whatever the culture is, it's the inverse of whatever shitty subculture you come from, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that energy?
Right. It's just when somebody has a good set, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
It's undeniable. And somebody has a good set and you're just like, respect.
Yeah. It wasn't even last festival. It was like 2 years ago festival. And I still fucking remember her because she killed so hard. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, it was crazy that, like, me and this guy are watching the same clip of the same amazing comedian, and his first thing is like, that shit was mid, and then to go to the comments and be like, why would anyone comment and be supportive of you? You know, like,
Jesus.
It's so crazy to me that people are that delusional, where they're like, why would friends support each other? Is it some sort of community thing that I don't understand? Yeah, it is. It's called having friends, bro.
Right, yeah. No, I think it's more than that too. And also people who just comment on the internet and stuff, but don't have any balls to actually try anything on their own.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like the fact that they think that there's some sort of like secret code among comedians where it's like, oh, you always have to support each other.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Yeah. And
you know how many comedians' podcasts are just them talking shit about comedians they don't like? All of them.
Yeah.
So, like, no, there's no secret code. Sometimes you just see a dead comedian and you're like, yeah, that person was undeniably dope. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man. So, I don't know. That was my weekend on the internet. Just being like, what the fuck is up with people?
Okay, so I got a comment from one of my food reviews where I was like, okay, I commented or was reviewing Freddy's burgers and steak burgers and custard, and somebody was like, oh, I didn't have a good experience. And I was like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, you're like, I'm
My
not dying, so
Yeah, my experience was good. It was delicious. Like, what do you want from me? I'm not everybody's everything. This is stupid. It really makes me. I mean, if I'm going to get more shit like that, it makes me
happen.
just. Okay. Well, it makes me want to stop because.
if that's what's gonna make you stop, that's only gonna get stronger.
Oh,
That's just
okay.
the internet. That's comment sections.
Yeah.
They're gonna see you. They're gonna be like, "What's with his stupid face? Why is he eating at this shitty place?" That's what you're gonna run into.
Okay, well, the thing is, I'm surprised nobody's giving me shit for wearing the same shirt over and over again because
That's just purely not enough people have cared.
okay, yeah, but
Eventually, someone will care enough to hate you, and it's
okay,
terrible.
yeah, I'm not looking forward to that at all. But I'm just surprised nobody said anything about my shirt.
Yeah.
Because
Is there someone playing piano in your house?
Yes.
Okay. It actually sounds really dope underneath you, but I was just like,
I mean, if you want
a soundtrack.
If you want, I'll go shut the door right fast.
Oh yeah, that would help. Sounds a lot better. Yeah,
okay,
it was just really resonating. Where it almost sounded like you were being soundtracked, like dramatically, and I was waiting for the tension to release. I was like, "What's he gonna say next?" So I just wanted to make sure the podcast listeners knew I didn't add that as a sound effect.
Okay.
Jonathan's house just sounds that dramatic when he talks.
It does. It's got nothing to do with me talking. The house just sounds that good.
I really want a piano in my house because I fucking love, like, it took me a while. I was just listening to the piano being like, this is fucking dope. And then I was like, we're doing an audio medium. I should probably address that.
Okay.
I've been looking on Facebook and Craigslist and stuff for free pianos.
Oh.
There's no shortage of free pianos. There's like 3 or 4 at any given time.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, I can go get a $20 U-Haul and call like 3 buds, and then I have a piano.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that stops me is I'm like, I don't have any fucking room in my house for a whole ass piano.
Yeah, that's fair. Even an upright would be tight.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, if I got an upright piano, fucking, I have to like clear everything from behind my couch and just put it behind my couch next to the front door.
Yeah.
He's so in the way, but
yeah,
I want a piano so bad. Just because
what you need to do is get a weighted keyboard.
Yeah. I had one of those one time. Those are
dope. A keyboard with weighted keys. Yeah. That's what.
Because I used to have a non-weighted keyboard, and I didn't like playing it because it felt gross on my fingers.
Right,
But when I bought the weighted one, I actually started practicing.
Nice.
And then I sold it on the internet.
Oh.
I've had so many instruments or pieces of equipment that I'm like, I don't need this. This is like too much for me to have. And then I get rid of it, and I'm like,
I wish I had that.
Yeah, really wish I still had that piano. Really wish I still had the recording desk that I used to have. Okay. Regret selling one of my guitars, but I really do not have enough space for all of the guitars I had. So I've got so many guitars. I have one behind me still in the case because I ran out of room on my wall, and I had to leave one at my drummer's house because I was like, I straight up have nowhere to put it.
Oh wow!
So it's like, it's a great problem to have now that I'm 15 years deep into this music shit or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I wish I would have been better at taking care of my first drum set, so that it would either still be playable or I wouldn't have wanted to sell it so much, because it would have been nice and set up. Yeah. Or like, I wish I still had my first guitar that I bought, but I sold it because I was like, I need $200.
Yeah.
So I miss those little things that are sentimental in hindsight, but I just didn't have the $200 to keep them around.
Well, okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's one thing about the very first guitar that I bought is that it was $200 for an amp and a guitar. So if I tried to resell it, it would be like $25 tops. You
That's
know,
like I have it's a
and I
Squire
wouldn't.
J bass.
Okay, yeah. See, mine is a Squire Strat, and
Yeah.
it's great. I love it.
And yeah, it's like it works. It's functional, and I got it in a combo with a nice amp for
Yep,
$200 at a pawn
yep,
shop forever ago.
yep.
And I've always just been like, "Well, am I going to get $80 for this? Maybe if I shine
Right.
it up real nice." No,
Yeah,
like I got it. I
yeah,
can. It literally would be cheaper to just go get new strings than to
yeah,
sell this bass.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh, so that's the music
yeah.
life. That's what I got going on. I still been doing lots of Sad Giant stuff.
Nice.
Uh,
That's
Trying to stick
great.
to this
I
recording
love to hear
schedule.
that. Yeah, yeah. How is it going with the recording schedule? Tell me about
Uh,
that.
Jesse,
Okay.
our drummer, is going to be going on a little vacation here for a couple weeks, and he was trying to get all of his drum tracks in before he left, but I
Uh-huh.
think we're about two short.
Okay.
But the amount behind I am in guitar and vocal recording,
Yeah. It
I think
doesn't
he'll be
matter.
able to get those two tracks done before I get all my like I have like 6 songs worth of guitar and vocals that I have
Okay.
not started, which
Okay.
like
Okay.
they'll come together quick because some of these songs I've had since like 2019. You know, like
Nice.
they're in my
Yeah.
brain. I've had them for a while,
Good.
but
Good.
it's
Yeah.
just getting them out
Yeah.
to a place where I'm like, this is the take. This is it.
Mhm.
This is what's going to go out. I've
Yeah.
got such, they call it demoitis. I'm
Okay.
very attached to the demos that I created,
Gotcha.
but those don't sound the caliber that I need these
The
tracks
need
to be.
to put on a
Yep, to put
recording.
actually on
Yeah.
wax, you know. So I'm
Okay.
trying to,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to like warm my voice back up. I'm trying to not smoke or vape anything because I
Hell
need
yeah.
my vocals to be better.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
vocals are still going to be raw as hell because I've spent the last 5 years after writing some of these songs just wrecking up my voice and going
Screaming.
through, yeah, just going through second puberty. I think just like
Okay.
becoming
Nice.
more gruff and into my lower throat just because
Okay.
I also think that's part of the sleep apnea where I stopped using some of my top nasaliness because my soft palate has become extended. So now it's good that I speak from the chest more often. It's bad
Okay.
that I'm not breathing correctly.
Okay.
I
Okay.
trained myself the other day. My
Yeah.
sleep apnea has gotten so bad, I've stopped singing correctly.
Ooh. Okay.
So-
I think it's brain injury stuff. I am not in tune with my guitar when I'm
man.
playing and singing, and it sucks, man.
Yeah,
It's just like,
it
Yeah,
sucks to
it's a
be
real
like
bummer.
I didn't even know because there was a point where I was singing every day because I would
Yeah.
drive to and from work, and when I was doing that,
Right.
I was singing in the car because that was fun.
yeah.
But now I'm like, wow, there's points where I haven't sang for weeks. A thing that I used to
Okay.
do every day, I haven't done for weeks, and now I've been
Yeah.
like my technique is fucked up. I've been using
Okay.
this this like fucking Tupperware, and then I sing into it, so
Oh.
there's some pressure, and I
Okay.
can sing as loud as I want, and there's like a little bit of pressure to help preserve.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
And if I incorrectly breathe in through my mouth instead of my nose, it suctions to my mouth and I can't breathe.
Oh, nice.
So I'm forced to remember
breathe
to breathe through my nose
through
while
the
I'm
nose.
singing.
Okay.
But I've been
That's
practicing the really
interesting.
low stakes shit. Yeah, I've been like singing
That's
Creed.
interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
can you take me higher?
and then just afterwards. So I'm
Nice.
trying to train the mid song snore out of myself so I don't have to
Yeah.
edit that too much out of my fucking album vocals.
Okay.
But what
yeah.
I'm saying is I'm trying to make sure these vocals are going to be as good as possible.
Good, dude. Good. Yeah.
Let's
Well,
see.
yeah, I guess. Okay. Well, don't know what the internet. We got caught up on what the internet did last week, but yesterday I had watched Ocean's 11 like 3 times this past weekend because I really enjoy that movie. It's
Hell yeah.
fun. It's a fun flick, and it's got Bernie Mac in it, and Bernie Mac is the shit. Yeah.
I always forget.
And
he's
this
there.
was during Kings of Comedy Bernie Mac too. This was when he was at the height of his powers. And anyway, so I ended up doing research on Bernie Mac and trying to find all the Bernie Mac content I could find. And I found some Def Jam comedy sets on YouTube, and that was cool. And so the next time I perform in front of a black audience, I'm gonna be like, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Be up there rubbing on your own dick, and they're gonna be like, "This is."
No, I'm not gonna rub my own dick. Oh, what? No, you don't jack off, and that's not comedy.
That's comedy.
Okay, no, I'm not doing that. Anyway, but he had a really memorable set where he was like, "I'm not afraid of you motherfuckers," and then I'm gonna be like, "I'm not afraid of you motherfuckers," and I was not afraid until I called you all motherfuckers, and now in hindsight, I am afraid of you, and now let's try some comedy. Let's try some material. Yeah. Anyways, that's I want to do that sometime. Yeah. See how that goes.
I say instead, just learn word for word some Bernie Mac stand-up comedy and just do that and see if anyone notices. Then you just word for word ripped off. Like, write it down in your notebook, and people are gonna be like, "You wrote this down?" Just like a
hell yeah, dude.
Bernie Mac rip off. It would be very funny.
Yeah. Well, he does some sexual stuff where he's like, "Yeah, I'm 50 or something," and he's like, "and I love sex," and some shit, and he's like covering up his junk, maybe rubbing on it some. I don't know. It's strange, man. Def Jam is like a whole nother world. It's great, but yeah. But I get the impression that a lot of comedy is like dirty jokes. People like dirty jokes, and it's like I do have dirty jokes, don't get me wrong, but they're just like units of, it's just like, this is a dirty joke unit. It's just carved into a block. I say it, it's done, that's it. I don't know how you keep going, in that regard. Like, with dirty joke after dirty joke after dirty joke.
Lots of the times people's dirty jokes are just like sex. Sometimes they can go all night. Sometimes they've got one move.
Okay, I've got one move.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, that's me. Yeah. But yeah. Also, I'm going home this weekend to I'm going to get to go home this weekend. My mom is coming to get me, and I'm going to get to mourn my buddy Neil. And so I get to pay tribute in real life to,
that's good.
Yeah, to my buddy Neil, and I'm really excited about that. In a strange way, it's like, I'm not excited that I'm mourning my buddy Neil. That's not what I'm saying.
You're excited to go. You're excited to go to the event. You weren't excited about how the event transpired, but
right. Yeah.
Nothing you can do in hindsight now, right?
Yeah.
So it's
we're gonna make the best out of it, and that's
good.
And that's what my buddy Neil would have wanted. He was a good dude. That's where I want to leave that.
Let's see. This is for the first time I got to headline in Reno. This is the first time I've actually gotten a headlining spot.
Okay,
it wasn't my first headlining spot, because I will always say the first person to ever headline me was the Savage Henry Club, so I always love them for that. But this is my first home turf headlining show.
Gotcha.
And I could have done a headlining set forever ago, and it wouldn't have been good, and I would have been like, I did 30 minutes. And I'm sure there were times I did 30 minutes or around that, and I shouldn't have. But this was the first time it was like, I was billed as headliner. There was good opening comics. It was a regular show with a host and a feature and everything. And it also just meant a lot to be booked at my old stomping grounds of coffee and comics.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
just alongside, I had Austin be the feature. Matt Wiegand was hosting.
Hell yeah.
And the guy who produced it, Molman, he was on the show too. He did great. And the
Nice.
two new comics, I think I was even talking about a while back, both Audie and Megan McGibbon were just wonderful for their first shows. So,
nice.
you know, it wasn't a big sold out audience, but you know, most of the tables were full aside from like the two very front ones because people are afraid to sit in the very front of the show.
Yes, that is correct.
So like that I didn't take personally, but like the rest of the tables were taken up. So I was happy. There was like a crowd there. I didn't know every single person by name in the audience, you know? So to me, it felt like, okay, I'm going to get real feedback on this headlining set because this is the first set I've crafted to try to be a 30-minute block. And I was still 4 minutes short. I cut too much.
Oh, did you?
I cut too much, and I had to add things on the fly because I was like, I'm at the end of what should be the first 15, and I'm only 10 minutes in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like looking at my time, I was like, fuck, I rushed my opening, I rushed my middle, and now I was going to have 2 more 5-minute chunks. And I was like, I'm 10 minutes in, I might only end up at 15 to 20, and that's nowhere near the 30. So I vamped a little bit mid-set. I added some new jokes.
Okay, nice.
They ended up getting to like just 26 minutes, I think.
Okay, yeah. But that's good you got to actually experience that. Because the next time you do a headlining set, it's going to be crisper and sharper and better.
And it also just made me realize I have to write more jokes. I just straight up have to write more because like the jokes that I added, I'm not 100% proud of them, or they don't go by themselves well. They have to be with other jokes. And so like the jokes they went with, I added them in where I could remember them. But sometimes like it would throw me off and I would lose a joke because I'm trying to dig my way out of a hole I put myself in. And it's so interesting to like get a longer set because there is that dip in the audience's energy that you have to bring them back out of. And if you don't have good enough jokes, you can't get out of the hole.
Right. Yeah.
And I ended up in that hole. I had 3 jokes that I was really confident in. The first one bombed its dick off.
Oh, really?
Yep. And so I had to dig myself out of it. I dug myself out of it with jokes I didn't plan on going to. And I got up and I did that. And I went to my second joke that's been killing, bombed its dick off. I was like, fucking why?
What?
No. And so these 3 jokes were supposed to be my like 1, 2, 3 punches to get out and end the show. And I'm like, 2 out of 3 just fucking went bad. Luckily, I had a lot of confidence in the last joke, and it went great, and it landed, and I was able to exit on a good note. And everyone was like, "Oh, I love that joke. Oh, that's a really good last joke." I was like, "Oh, thank fucking God!" You know, 'cause, like, it's like if you're a pilot and you're like, the landing gear is stuck, and you're like, "Fucking what?" You're trying to get that shit, and then finally it goes right at the end. I was like, "Oh, no one saw that. No one saw that. You're fine." But it's just, it's funny how much of the comedian brain I've built in myself to notice these things during a set. But I'm not skilled enough yet to be able to pull all the way out of them while they're happening. With the material I have now. So I've just got to I got to hammer it harder to have more quick ones to go back to if I fuck up like I did. Or I also need to make my whole middle funnier because it's just more cute because it's mostly about my family and my upbringing. So it's like, it's got a lot of little cute parts, but nothing's like laugh out loud funny. And I need to find something in there that brings it back out.
Also you need to develop well, that wasn't funny bit. You know, where you self-deprecate for a moment. And it's not haute cuisine comedy, but it's nimble, keep yourself alive comedy.
It's being able to pivot on that foot.
So
there's
I've never headlined, the longest I've ever done was 15 minutes, and I've done probably 15 minutes several times, not meaning to, because I'm lost in my notebook, not looking at the light, because that would happen quite often in my line of work. Jim Fleming had to physically take the mic from me one night.
He just kept on going.
Yeah, he was like, no,
Flashing it at
seriously.
you.
Yeah, he was flashing. He was just talking to me at one point, and just like, okay. And then he just got up and was like, all right. And that was Jonathan Allgood. And just booted me off the stage physically. And that was before I even knew him. That was at like the New Year's Eve party.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the very
He was like
first
this.
year I
He's
was
like
in
this
town.
homeless guy just wandered in here and took the mic.
Yeah. It was funny. Yeah, it worked out. It did work out. It was decent. I was doing my Tinder profiles, and so that's why I was just dug in, just on the line, just doing
Just
it.
firing them out there.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, and I had the crowd with me. The crowd was with me, but Jim Fleming was not with me at all. He was like, I'm here to run a tight show. And, he never really did, but he definitely, it wasn't because he didn't try, Yeah.
Man, there was, I'm trying to think of the first 30 minutes that I got to do.
Okay.
And I feel like it was at like a backyard show or something where they were like,
Okay.
go up and just do however much you feel like. And I ended up
Okay.
doing like 23 minutes or some shit. And I was like, that was too
Cool.
much. I was like, that was
Okay.
just a lot of rambling. And
Nice.
I have almost every set that I've ever done like audio recorded from
Cool.
like when I started up until the pandemic.
Right.
And then I really stopped kind of paying attention to recording
Okay.
myself after
Yeah.
that. Because now I kind of just know my jokes and I can gauge the
Yeah.
audience better. Whereas
Mhm.
before I could never hear the audience.
Yeah.
Mostly because I was blowing through my own jokes and going too fast. But
Yeah. Fair
now I'm
enough.
better at like
Yeah.
listening to my audience and knowing what's hitting and what's not. And it's
Yeah.
crazy to like hear my audience laugh at something I didn't expect them to laugh at because
Yeah.
I'm so used to not doing comedy in front of like my audience
Okay.
that things will hit and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot I wrote this as a joke and
Yeah.
not just a true statement within another bit. Okay, I should
Yeah.
slow down and let each punch hit. Okay.
Yeah.
And there was
Nice.
my opening bits have a lot more physicality because I've been doing them longer. So I have portions where I do act outs and things.
Okay. Cool.
But my wife noticed, she was like, you were so active when you started. And then like the last 20 minutes was just me standing there with a beer in my hand talking shit. Like,
Nice.
I
Okay.
had such an active first part and I like did act outs and then it was just me standing up there staring.
Question. Did you mind fuck the stool?
I did not mime fucking the stool, which is
Good.
what I
Good,
should have
man.
done. That's what I should have added.
No.
I should have been 25 minutes in, and I should have bombed that second time on my closing joke and been like, I gotta fuck the stool. That's what's
Yeah.
not getting to them.
Oh God. Yeah. That's yeah. Fucking the stool is just no. Yeah.
I think
I mean-
fucking the stool is an art much like impressions, where if it's not done right, you're like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Please
Yeah.
leave. But if they do it really good, you're like, come on.
Hey.
You're like, come on, look at them.
Yeah.
That's an
okay.
actual talent.
Yeah.
Because
But
sometimes
that-
guys fuck the stool, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're fucking it good.
Yeah, they get inside the stool, and you're like, what is this? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
you know what?
good.
I also have a chicken update.
Oh
Chickens
yeah.
are big, and they're not as big as they can get, but they're just sort
Okay.
of they're in the yard, like rolling around in the dirt, kicking dirt all over themselves.
Nice.
They're just
Okay.
dirty little outside birds now.
Cool. Yeah.
Stinky chickens.
Did I talk about the Poultry Science Club, the North Carolina State University Poultry Science
A
Club
little bit.
last time? Okay. Well, the thing is, I was thinking about it, and I was like, damn, I should know more about chickens than I do. But because I was in the Poultry Science Club, but I really don't. I know Rhode Island Reds. I remember that breed. And then there was they at the Poultry Science Expo, the World Poultry Science Expo in Atlanta, Georgia, was where that was at the CNN
That sounds
Center.
like the place that would be.
Yes, well, it was that is where it was, and and I'm sure it still happens there, but they had all sorts of machines where you that they would show you, how chicken got processed, and it was pretty vicious stuff, and it goes to show you what factory farming is like. It's about efficiency and cycle times and just
Get their legs in the clips, get their heads through the cutting machine,
yep,
get the duds in the boiling machine.
yep, yep,
Ugh.
and just get all those feathers off and get it into pieces as fast as possible. Yeah, and I had a professor at NC State. It talked to me one time about it. I was like, it was kind of crazy to see that machinery. He was like, we get offers all the time for our students to design that machinery for student design projects, and he's like, I don't accept those jobs because it's kind of vicious machinery. And I was like, interesting.
I'm trying to remember other things, and I think I've covered all the important things. I can't think of anything else.
Well, I mean, yeah, I do want to say something about mental health, though. I want to keep. I mean, the three people who listen to this, I want to have the best mental health fucking ever, because they listen to this podcast and we're like, mental health advocacy, just turn it to 11. But yeah, if you're listening to us, you're probably lonely, and if you are lonely, go talk to somebody. Get in our comments actually, and Bobby will show me how to do this.
No.
Okay, Bobby's not going to show me how to do that. So anyways, yeah. But yeah, take care of yourself. Does this
I
seem
think that's a
right?
white power symbol now.
What? No.
Your hands dropped out of frame so fast.
Okay.
Guys, that's been the show. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
Petri edition. You've been great. We're gonna hit you back up next week with more fun
Okay.
little goof 'em ups.
Yeah.